Hi Scrollers is produced on Gadigal land.
We pay our respects to the traditional custodians of this country and elders past and present.
We extend our respect to any First Nations, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people joining us today.
Always was, always will be Aboriginal land.
I've got something that I need to ask you, Matt, because I think there's something that everyone's got wrong, and it's about demerit points.
Okay. Oh, an interesting way to start the Close Friends episode.
Let's talk about demerit points, everyone.
Let's talk about demerit points. You know what? That's what you come here for. You come here for the real hot topics in the world, the topics that just you're dying to know about. And I reckon at the top, not at the top of the list, maybe second or third on the list, demerit points. So let's chat about it.
People have got demerit points wrong.
Why?
Did you know that you have no demerit points and then you gain them?
You gain them, and you can gain up to 13 and then you lose your license.
Everyone that I talk to thinks you start with 13 and then you lose demerits. And so...
It's in the name, demerit point.
And so everyone's like...
it's not a merit point, it's a demerit point.
Yeah.
You're getting a point for doing the wrong thing.
It makes no sense, right? Because everyone that I speak to about it is like, yeah, I've lost this many points. But you don't lose points, you gain them.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying.
But people are like, I lost 4 points. You didn't lose 4 points, you gained 4 points.
No, they did lose 4 points because they've got 13. See, here's the tricky thing, because I know what you're saying. You're gaining the 4 points, but they lost 4 points.
Out of the 13?
No, see, how do I explain this? How do I dumb it down? Because I know what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it. The words aren't forming. So when they say, I lost 4 points, that actually is still correct terminology and the correct way to say it, but they haven't lost 4 demerit points, but they've lost 4 of their 13 points.
See, but I have 0 points.
But you have an allocation of up to 13. So if you gain 4 demerit points, you have lost 4 points.
Why does it have to be that way? Why can't everyone just have 13 and then you lose them? And when you get to 0, then you've lost your license. Why do you have to get to 13?
Because I think if you get more than 13, I don't know, but what happens then? Because if you get 12...
You go to jail.
I don't think you go to jail. But what I'm saying is, like, if you were at 12 and then, on double demerits, let's say you got 6 demerit points for whatever you did wrong, then you're at 18 demerit points, even though the limit is 13.
I'll tell you what, I got another question while we're on the topic of double demerits. Okay. You know how when it's double demerits, long weekend, everyone drive fucking safe. Why don't they just do double demerits all the time then?
I think it desensitizes everyone, and I think the point is that more accidents happen on those weekends because more people are on the roads and more people are likely to drink drive. True. So I think that's probably the answer there. Sorry, you probably wanted me to go back and forth with you there and go, I don't know, but I
also think about speeding cameras. Like, I know there's obviously rules around them. You know how they have to have like the 2 warning signs before you actually, like, everyone just knows where they are and they just slow
Brittney,
down.
This is so funny. I love this episode. The speed cameras are not there to trick you into catching you speeding. It's put in problem areas so that everyone slows down. They need you to know about the speed cameras.
Why don't we just have them everywhere so then everyone just drives normal? Why don't people just drive fucking normal?
Yeah, agree.
I'm normal.
But speed cameras are, put in places. I am normal.
Sorry, I was saying that the whole America trip because there's this really old clip. Surely everyone knows Sherilyn Barnes.
Oh, I don't reckon everyone does.
Anyway, there's Sherilyn Barnes. Just look her up. And there was this clip that she made like years and years ago, like in the YouTube days, because that's how long Sherilyn's been around for. Shout out Sherilyn, by the way. Not that I think she listens to every episode of ours.
I don't think she listens to any episodes.
Well, I'm going to send this to her because she always picks on me on my lives. And so it was in the era of a lot of the big American YouTubers like doing a coming out video. People aren't going to find this funny because you've just got to know Sherilyn. So there was like, who was in it? Tyler Oakley.
Connor Franta,
and
Troye
it's like,
Sivan.
I'm gay, I'm bi. And then she goes, and I'm normal. But like you have...
I am normal.
I
just love it. She literally... She used to say in her videos all the time, I respect everyone, whether you are gay or normal.
But you have to know Sherilyn.
So funny.
Anyway, I saw it pop up on TikTok. And it was when we were in America. And then the whole trip, it made me realize how much I use the word normal in my everyday language. And then to the whole trip, I'd be like, that is so normal.
So normal. Yeah, I'm normal.
Anyway, fucking drive safely, everyone.
Okay.
That is the key messaging of this episode. Sponsored by New South Wales Roads. It's not.
No.
It's not.
No.
It's over there like, no. Anyway, if you thought that you start with points and lose them, you're wrong.
Yes. But technically you do lose points.
But you start with 0. And if you go on to like your Service New South Wales app or whatever app you use, I don't know. Do the other states have apps? Who knows?
Did you know I heard Victoria doesn't do double demerits?
Don't they?
That's not a thing
And
down
don't
there.
they not have tolls?
Oh, I don't know about that.
I think they don't have I don't know. I could be wrong here. But
They don't have tolls. Get me the fuck down there because the amount of fucking... Did you know that, like, sometimes one trip will cost $32 in
yes,
Sydney?
I have been driving to
Yeah,
Sydney
so
for the
true.
last 2 years for this podcast, and it cost me, $40 every day and $40 parking. I pay $80 to come on this podcast every week,
Fucking
everyone.
hell, it makes me sick because my dad used to just... When I was younger, he linked up my tolls to his toll account. So my car would go through, but he'd get... And then he just would pay it.
Yeah.
And then he... obviously, at the time, I wasn't driving to Sydney that often. So then when he'd get the bill at the end of the year or however it works, he'd just be like, hey, mate, you owe me $170 for your tolls. I'm like, sweet, no worries, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So I didn't think about it because it was so, it was like one big lump sum. Fucking hell! So I had this thing on that was like, you can do it with your toll boothy thing, your little thing that beeps when you go through.
Yeah.
You can set the amount that loads onto it. So I had it set at $25. My fucking bank statement in the space of a week, because there's something that's like it caps at $60. So that used to not happen.
Okay.
That's a new thing, I think, or recent in the
I can't
last couple of
imagine
years.
people that live there because it cost me, like $40 every time I come to Sydney.
$25 got taken out like 6 times in 2 days. I was
Yeah.
like, this is a fucking joke. You know why we pay tolls, right, and how that works? Because I didn't know this and I found it really interesting.
What is it?
So from my understanding, the government employs a construction company to build the toll road but doesn't pay them, but says you may have all of, or maybe it's a split, but you will get the earnings off it. So basically the government goes, hello, we need you to build this road to a big construction agency or company, and then they go, we won't pay you a cent. It's going to probably cost you $100 million to build the road, but we're not going to pay you. But you can charge tolls and get the toll, and you can make the money off it. So in the long run, and for these building companies, like 30 years down the track, or I don't know how long, then it's really profitable, and they probably make more money than if they just charge the government to do it. But that's why we pay tolls. And I mean, I hate it, but I found it interesting.
I thought it just went to the government and they use it for whatever the fuck they
Well,
want.
I think that they must take a cut of some sort. And also, don't quote me. It could be fucking wrong. Half the shit I say on this podcast I make up anyway. So,
This is a fake news fucking podcast. If I've ever seen one, I was just confidently saying everything that is so wrong.
yeah.
But anyway, as I was saying, in New South Wales, we have the Service New South Wales app.
Oh, yeah.
Go onto it, and then you can literally just click this one section, and it will show you how many points you do have. And then if you've never gotten like a fine or whatever, you got 0.
Have you got any fines?
No.
Ever in your life?
Parking fines?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten parking fines, but never got a speeding fine.
Nice.
Don't think so anyway.
So you've never lost any demerit points?
No, I've never gained any because it's
You've
a
never
0.
gained any,
But it scared me the first time I looked because I was like, oh my God, it says 0. Like I thought I'd lost my license. I didn't realise you have to gain them in the app.
Right. Okay. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Sorry to go back to America again,
Yeah.
but have you found that since you have gotten home, it's not so bad on the roads,
Yeah.
but on footpaths or at the shops?
I haven't really
Have
walked
you
anywhere.
noticed? Okay, so I have been.
I've been walking around my house.
I have been walking on the wrong side of the path.
I hate it over there. I hate it. I hate going on the other side. Like, yeah, they drive on the other side, which AJ and I drove from Palm Springs to Vegas. And then that was pretty fun. And I drove because AJ was like, I don't want to drive. Like, I think he was freaking out. But when you're in the car and like all the other cars are on your side. You don't even feel like you're on the wrong side of the road.
No, but it's not the wrong side of the road vibes. The thing that gets me is you don't know the rules. So, for example, with certain signs or certain stop signs or certain traffic lights, but they're not marked, you can just turn. You can turn. If you know how here we have like left turn permitted
On red. Yeah.
if there's no cars coming. It's that, but it's not marked as that.
I didn't get any of those.
So I remember when my dad was driving in America and everyone kept beeping him. And then it wasn't until someone was in front of us that we saw them go on a red light and we were like,
no, we didn't get any of that.
So it's all those things that's what stresses me out. It's not so much that it's on the opposite side.
When you're on the opposite side of the car and on the opposite side of the road, you don't feel like I didn't feel anything different. The only thing where you feel weird is when you're like turning at a set of lights and like you go where you would be at home, but you've got to go out and around like to get to the, I don't know. That was the only bit that threw me off. But then also in America, because they obviously drive on the other side of the road, they walk on the other side of the footpath. And we're so used to going left. Mm-hmm. Like when you're walking towards someone and you're on the footpath, you go left, they go left. Yeah. But in America, they go right.
So my thing is, though, did you find that people didn't take any fucking notice of that? Because it was pissing me off. So I was very diligent with the walking on the right side. I'm such a, like, I don't know why. I actually don't know why, because it wasn't even like a big thing in my upbringing. You'd think it was like drilled into me. But for some reason, walking on the left-hand side here in Australia, even if I'm on an escalator, I'm up against the left so that people can overtake me.
That was weird too over there. Like their escalators are on the right.
Yeah.
So and you don't realise how used to it we are at home, but you go to the left.
Yeah.
And so we would go to the left and it's the down.
Yeah. So... Oh, yeah, that's what you're saying. So, you know, okay, yes, so true. So, because that made no sense to me at first, but I've just realised
their escalators are literally
swapped. Yeah. So, obviously, when we're going in Australia up an escalator, it's on the left side, but it's flipped. The left one.
For what reason?
The left one is down.
Why does it have to be flipped?
Well, because that's the side that they do everything on over there. But the point is, I've gotten home and I'm stuck in the right side, and I keep because in Australia we really abide by that law. I feel not law, but you know what I mean, like
the unwritten law.
Yes, like I feel like in Australia everyone knows how to walk on the football path properly. In America, I was making sure I was sticking to the right side, and I just feel like no one else gave a shit. I had people coming directly at me the whole time.
Maybe because everyone there was a tourist.
So I did consider that. But what I have learned is I feel you can just look at someone and know they're American.
Right.
What? Why are we laughing at that, team? What's going on? Sorry, I can. I just look at someone and go, American. I can tell.
The same way that you can look at someone and be like, you're from Australia.
Yeah, because remember we'd even do that while we were over there.
We were like, oh, is that a couple Aussie? And I remember when I was in China like a few weeks before, I was in the hotel lobby and this guy walked in with no shoes and boardies and a T-shirt. And I'm like, he's Aussie.
Yeah.
And then I heard him talk and he was.
Yeah. You know what's funny is when we were in Erewhon, that last day, we were in an aisle and this guy walked into the aisle and I looked at him and in my brain I went, that's a fucking Aussie. He didn't speak. He didn't do anything that was Aussie. I just looked at him and went, that's an Australian man. Mm-hmm. The strangest thing happened. I get a DM later that day from a guy saying, because I had posted I was at Erewhon, and he messaged me and said, we're doing the exact same trip at the exact same time. It's spinning me out. And I was like, oh, that's so funny. And I looked at his profile picture and I was like, wait a second. I clicked on his profile. I think it was on private, but I was able to make his profile picture bigger. It was the guy I saw in Erewhon. So I messaged him and was like, I saw you in Erewhon today. I knew you were an Australian.
I wonder if it was the same guy that I saw at Sydney Airport when I landed.
That'd be crazy. I'll find the DM and see if it was. But anyway, he didn't see me in Erewhon.
Oh, okay.
Like that didn't prompt him to message me. He didn't even see us. He didn't know I was there until later, and I posted on my story. Like, that was so weird, but it's so funny. I wonder if
it's the same guy, because I was standing at the airport trying to, which, by the way, my rant of the week, I'll just end this episode with a rant of the week. Mm-hmm. Sydney Airport, I hired a car because AJ had driven my car home from the airport, so I hired a one-way rental. So I landed at the international terminal And you know how usually the hire cars are just out there in the car park, like in the underground car park area? Not at Sydney International. They are all the way over at the domestic side.
Oh.
They're not just there. Like, you don't just walk out and walk in to hire your car. So then I landed, got my bags, and then for any of you that know, Sydney International Uber area is absolutely like a nightmare. Like, there's a long snake line for the Uber X, or if you want to order something better. Anyway.
Hang on a second. What the bloody heck are you going on about? I think you landed at an awful time because
I must have.
Mine was seamless.
No, mine was chaos.
Did you do Uber X or the other one?
The other one.
Okay, so I did the other one. It wasn't good. I then went to Uber X. So Uber X doesn't assign you a driver. The drivers just pull up.
Yeah, which I
and
thought
then
was
you show
smart.
them a
But
code.
the snake line was full. So I was like, I'm
Okay.
not fucking lining up there. So I'm trying to book like an Uber Comfort or an Uber Premium, whatever. And they're all over in like, you know how they wait in the other car park?
Yeah.
Like they go wait until they get assigned and blah, blah, blah. So I'm trying to book it. And then I'd book it and get a driver. But then they'd cancel because my trip was so short.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, what the fuck am I supposed to do here? So I'm messaging them like, please don't cancel. I have no other way to get to the other side.
Taxi.
That line was fucked as well.
Yeah,
so I
I
was
think
just like,
you landed
what
at a
the
really
fuck?
awful time.
Anyway.
Because
what
I
a
got
stitch
out.
up that you
and-
have to pick up the car at the other side of the airport.
Yeah.
And there's no like, there's no shuttle bus or anything to get you to the car rental spot.
I'm not kidding. I reckon I got off my plane and was in my Uber within about 12 minutes.
No, I was there for an hour and a half.
Crazy.
Yeah.
And I just got my Uber. I did the Comfort first or whatever it was. And then, because usually you have a bit more luck with those at airports, I find. And then
Must be a new thing, the Uber X thing, where you don't book and there's like staff there from Uber and they like tell you where to go.
Yeah, Melbourne does it really well too. Been to Melbourne and gone Uber from Melbourne?
Yeah, they've got that zone, all the
Yeah.
zones.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you go to the zone. You know what? LAX was great.
Yeah, that was good.
They have a huge car park and everyone goes there. First of all, we had to get on a
Shuttle
bus,
bus.
a shuttle
Yeah.
bus from our terminal
Yeah.
to this big car park, huge. And then it's like row 21, A, B, C, D, E, F, row 22,
It's
23.
better.
And so we book an Uber and then it says, we select.
Yeah.
So it said, where would you like to be picked up from? And then we say 23G.
Yeah.
And then we just walk to 23G and the car comes
was
there and
good.
it won't allow, like there's just random numbers because it won't allow you to book one that someone else has booked.
Yeah.
So
Stop
it just
the
made it
congestion.
so seamless. As I said, some things they do in that country, I think this is genius. And other things I go, what the bloody fucking heck is going on in here today, love?
Anyway, see you next Tuesday.